I made a video last week talking about both the Lenovo Legion Go 2 and the Go S, and in that video, I mentioned making a dedicated video about each device at a later date. So I finally decided to come around and make the dedicated video on the Legion Go S, further expand and talk about some more recent information and just some more developed thoughts I have about the device. But if you weren't aware, recently at CES, Lenovo has fully unveiled the Legion Go 2 and the leaked and rumored Legion Go S. This device is designed to essentially be a cheaper, less functional version of the Legion Go. It ditches the detachable controllers, it has a slightly smaller screen, and just overall slightly cheaper construction in order to get that price down. They make compromises in a few select areas, some I deem slightly more important than others, mainly the processor. This uses the all-new AMD Z2 Go chip, and that chip, while not tested or really has any concrete information about it other than core layouts, GPU, and just some pretty basic information, it's safe to say that this thing isn't going to be incredibly powerful. Actually, on paper, potentially weaker than the last generation Z1 chip. This new chip is set to be anywhere between the Z1 Extreme and the Steam Deck in terms of power, which granted that is a pretty wide gap of variability, but this also is just essentially a very old but still quite powerful chip, the 6800U. ETA Prime did a great video, which I'll link down below, that goes into further deeper analysis and comparing the two chips, but in simulated performance scenarios, they performed fairly similarly with a difference between about 5 or 8%. And this is on pre-release software in early versions of the device, so these performance numbers could see potential to be a little bit better when the device fully releases. The two chips even use the same CPU architecture. Essentially, they're functionally the same, just minus 2 cores. What this could be is some old product that's been sitting around that they've fused off the non-working cores and just sent it out the door. Or it could be a whole new silicon. We won't know for certain until we start getting these things in hands and we start disassembling them. But to me, what makes this situation a little bit more interesting is because of that older generation of hardware, it being not necessarily lacking in performance, many people will be more than happy with that level of performance. It's just the efficiency. The older architecture isn't as efficient as newer methods found in newer devices. The Z1 Extreme found in the RG Ally X and devices that will have the Z2 chip going on, like the RG Ally 2, will be more optimized and have just overall better battery efficiency, enabling longer play sessions. And on top of that, the Legion Go S is going to have a 55 watt-hour battery, which in all purposes is almost half of what a lot of these major new devices are coming out with. The RG Ally X, a device from last year, has an 80 watt-hour battery. The new MSI Claw also shares an equally large battery. And even Lenovo's very own Legion Go 2 will have an 80 watt-hour battery. So just seeing this have a 55 watt-hour battery is just a little disappointing. Something else to take consideration, this is going to be one of the first devices to launch with SteamOS, with official backing from Valve. And for a lot of people, that is incredibly exciting and a great place to upgrade to, because the Steam Deck, while not just completely dead or something like that, it's just not really amazingly powerful anymore for AAA titles. So getting something that's a pretty decent upgrade from the original Steam Deck is actually going to be very nice for a lot of people. And something to take into consideration, the original Steam Deck released 3 years ago. So there's been essentially 3 years of massive development in this space. We've gone from the Steam Deck being one of the only major players in the space to being so many companies are taking a swing at it. So it's pretty obvious that there'll be some improvements in that time. And I think that sort of comes together with the Legion Go S running SteamOS. And you'll be able to choose between a Z1 Extreme option and the Z2 Go chip variant. But that version comes out after the Windows version. It's speculated that the SteamOS version is going to come out in sometime around May, and the Windows version is going to be releasing in February. That version is going to be the Z2 Go variant with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage in the Glacier White color, which I'm not too enthused about this thing coming with 32 gigabytes of RAM. It pushes the price all the way up into the mid 700s, being around $750. And for $750 getting a Z2 Go chip, to me, it's a bit of a hard pill to swallow. But when this device trades blows or is going to be worse than the Z1 Extreme chip that we currently already have, you might as well just buy an RG Ally X. And I'm sure a lot of people have problems with Asus, but the RG Ally X is going to be available for $50 more, so you might as well just buy that because it has a Z1 Extreme chip, which should be faster than the Z2 Go chip, and already be running Windows because the version that's releasing on February 14th is the Windows version. Sure, won't have 32 gigabytes of memory, but it does have 24 gigs, 8 of which dedicated to the GPU, so essentially going to be the same situation. And you'll be getting a massive 80 watt-hour battery, which should last you 5 hours of gaming. Now where this device becomes a pretty good deal is when the speculated SteamOS version is releasing sometime in May. That device is going to be shipping for around $500. That one will also be able to be equipped with a Z1 Extreme chip or the Z2 Go chip, and presumably the black and white color schemes. Which personally, I'm partial to the black one, but I basically buy every black version of a device I possibly can. But that's neither here nor there. This device is incredibly interesting, but not necessarily for everybody in my opinion. This device is amazing if you're trying to upgrade from a Steam Deck and you just want a very similar experience within the confines of SteamOS, which, don't get me wrong, that's an amazing experience for a lot of people, but not really for me. And if you're obsessed with the new design, this also isn't really that. This is pretty standard when it comes to PC handhelds, and just looks like another white ROG Ally. Just like the Zotac Zone, just like some of these other devices coming in from these other companies, it all just kinda looks the same. The thing that made the Legion Go so unique was its detachable controllers, which I get not everybody liked, but at least it was unique. It was different. Made it feel a little bit more special when you played it. A little bit more designed for gaming, like a Nintendo Switch. But I get not for everybody, and it does increase the cost and complexity of the device. So on paper, this move makes a lot of sense for Lenovo to do, to offer both kinds of solutions. But I feel like this might be just a trap for a lot of people that they're going to be super excited about the Legion Go S, and when this device maybe doesn't sell as well as the normal Legion Go, they might just cut it after the next one, or this could be the only Legion Go S we ever get. We won't really know until this thing releases. Something that does disappoint me a little bit is that the Legion Go 2 isn't getting SteamOS, which I get might not necessarily be what that device is designed for, but I don't really see it as a fundamental difference. They'll both be running the Z2 line of chips, and I get there might be some sort of software or just hardware incompatibility or something like that, but I seriously don't see any reason why the Go 2 couldn't get SteamOS as well. I get there might be extra work. That's the whole reason why SteamOS isn't coming at launch. We're getting a different SteamOS version later on. And hopefully they release some sort of tool that enables you to upgrade or switch over to SteamOS in the future on your Windows model. Overall, this is an incredibly interesting device full of so much potential, but I'm really curious to see how you guys react to this. Are you interested in Legion Go S? Is this the one you've been waiting for? I would love to hear what you guys think down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the social media garbage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.